What's going on, guys? This is Miasen and welcome to my beautiful Phantom Knight deck profile. This is the deck list that I've used in my live stream in case you saw it, the YCS grind, because I do believe that this deck is tier 1, well, for sure. I mean, everybody can agree with that, right? The deck is super consistent, can play through hand traps, can play through Forbidden Droplet. In case you haven't watched my combo video, make sure you do. It's really informative. And yeah, this absolute magnificent 42 card deck will definitely terrify a lot of people. But before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe, and also check me out on Twitch and Instagram. And with that being said, let's jump right into this video. So I am playing, of course, the 2 Destiny O bricks and the 3 Fusion Destiny. This card is actually good to draw. If you draw it, then you can either skip the part where you make Anaconda, or you can like still make your Anaconda, and if your opponent has the Veiler or Imperm for the Anaconda, you go Fusion Destiny, haha, nice deck, and you still win that way. And then we are playing the Artifact Scythe, of course. So yeah, sure, a few bricks in the main deck, but you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? And speaking of bricks, Seer and Graph, you don't want to draw them. If you draw them, it's like not the end of the world, but you're not super happy. I don't recommend playing Libic, honestly. I used to, but I changed my mind. I just don't even want to draw any BAs. So if I play 3 BA, I'm playing around the possibility of drawing a BA, but I also increase my chances of drawing a BA. So it's like so counterintuitive. And yeah, 2 BA monsters, that's all. You summon them with Tour Guide, and you profit. Or you don't even make a Tour Guide, and you send the Graph with Cherubini and still full combo that way. And of course, I'm playing the 2 Psychic monsters that are summonable off of Emergency Teleport, the Terratop Takentumborg, which you don't have to play. If you don't want to play them, just cut to 40 cards, and you're good to go. And the Dangered Tsuchinoko, I don't recommend Jackalope, because if you have the Jackalope and the Tsuchinoko and the Jackalope get sniped, Jackalope doesn't summon anything, and Nessie in this deck is garbage, because if this Nessie doesn't get sniped and successfully resolves, you get a level 7 monster that doesn't make Cherubini. So yeah, Orochimaru is by far the best danger monster. Hail that Shinobi. And 1 Stained Graves, this card is pretty good. It's an extender, but it becomes bricky if you play way too many, so 1 is all good. And 3 Tour Guide, 1 Ragged Gloves. Again, it's a good card. It's needed in the combo, but it's not fantastic to draw. 2 Junk Forward, it conflicts with the Dangered Tsuchinoko draw if you draw it off of it. So that's the reason why I'm a little hesitant to play more than 2. Same thing with Kagemusha Knight. If you draw like multiples, you're like, bruh, I only needed like 1 of them because you can't really summon, you know, just like so many in one shot. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 2 Ancient Cloak. This card is actually one of the good Phantom Knight monsters to draw, I want to say. It searches either Torn Scales or Silent Boots, so I like this card quite a lot. It's a great discard. And then 3 Torn Scales, 3 Silent Boots. This card is insane. It special summons itself. 2 Kagemusha, Chain Blocks with the Tour Guide, by the way. And Reinforcement of the Army to search pretty much everything in this deck, including Junk Forward. Now, of course, the Fusion Destiny is a no-brainer here. Called by the Grave, another no-brainer. Very good at negating your opponent's Imperm Smile. I kept dude, every single time on my streams, I was drawing Called by the Grave. I was, what a coincidence, only eating Imperms. No, not Ash and Veiler. No, that doesn't happen. Come on. No. My opponents are skillful at Yu-Gi-Mon, so they Imperm me instead. And I go, oh, shit. So, yeah. But anyways, usually this card is good. I don't recommend playing triple Tactic Talents because, well, first of all, I want to say it almost has the exact same issue as Call by the Grave, but also for triple Tactic Talents, you're almost like begging for your opponent to hand trap you, and I was never a big fan of the card to begin with. I think it's very meta dependent. It's very format dependent, rather. So sometimes in a format, triple Tactic Talents might be very good, but sometimes it might not be good at all. Sometimes there's just too much spell and trap negation, so it never resolves, etc. So I don't know. And yeah, 3 Forbidden Droplet. This card is great because the discards are almost free in this deck. A lot of cards just really love being in the graveyard, sometimes even more than in your hand. And then yeah, 2 Emergency Teleport, free extender. Don't play Ghost Ogre and the Little Stake. Don't recommend them. And then the Wings with Triple Fogblade and Shade Brigandine. So again, 42 cards in the main deck, but you can absolutely cut the Terratop and Taketumborg. Now for the extra deck, I'm playing 1 Destiny or Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, 1 Zeus, 1 Time Thief Doer. Now, you can also play Evil Swarm Nightmare. That's why it's in my idea section. This card is also very, very, very good. Both of them kind of fulfill well, not really the exact same role, but they are summoned in the exact same way. So when you revive back your 2 Phantom Knight monsters from your graveyard with Break Sword, they become level 4. So if you want to make a Time Thief Doer with no trap material, it's not going to be as great unless you're skillful at the game and you excavate a spell or trap from your opponent's top deck. But if you don't, then the Redoer honestly is just, it doesn't really do anything. It becomes like an Evil Swarm Thunderbird. Not the best, but if you have a trap like Shade Brigandine, this card becomes one of the best rank 4s in the entire game. So definitely do keep that into consideration. And Evil Storm Nightmare, again, another one of those format depending cards, because against the deck like Pendulum that summons multiple monsters in one shot, you just go Book of Moon on every single one of them, and that's single-handedly GG. But sometimes it's not the greatest, and it can actually be worse than Time Thief Redoer. So again, it's really up to you whether you want to play Redoer or Evil Storm Nightmare. And then I am playing Downward Magician in order to have a Zeus with 4 materials. That's very important. A lot of people do that. I want to say everyone who has the extra deck space for that does that. And then the Brig Sword, obviously. The second one honestly came up a few times. I'm just really hesitant on what to cut in this deck. And yeah, Levier the Sea Dragon, great to get the cards to not go to the graveyard and also get back the cards from the banish to the graveyard, so your grind game becomes much better. So Levier is a fantastic card. I'm a big fan. And yeah, for the other Link monsters, Access Code Talker, Appaloosa, Unicorn, Rusty, Dagda, of course, Masquerina. So Masquerina and Unicorn, they kind of they work in a pair. And then we have the Cherubini, Anaconda, Link Spider. So if you're at the top tables of YCS and you know for a fact your opponent is playing a deck that doesn't lose to Scythe, you don't go for the freaking Scythe combo with like Dagda to, like an idiot. You go for Masquerina into Unicorn, because at least that's one interruption that could work. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the explanation of these Link monsters. I want to say the majority of them are no-brainers or cards that I think everybody should already know about because they have been showcased in combo videos, or they're just staples like Access Code and Appaloosa. So that's it. But there is something else I want to say. If you've noticed, the Levier the Sea Dragon is, oh my god, it's not a dark monster. Wow, what a shocker. So in other words, if you are under the dark attribute lock of Archnemesis Protoss, you go for Levier, you attack over a monster, and then you make Zeus in battle in main phase 2. And that's like one of the only power plays that you can honestly do under Archnemesis Protoss, because you cannot make Phoenix into Enforcer, you can't make Access Code, you can't Unicorn or Masquerina or Rusty. Honestly, the only option would seriously be Levier into Zeus. So yeah, that's not the best, but at the same time, you really have to play with what you have, and Archnemesis Protoss is absolute cancer. Just like Artifact Scythe and Harpy's Featherstorm, they really all belong to the same category. And yeah, so that's it for the extra deck, and that's also it for the main deck. Moving on into the idea section, I already talked about how I don't like Libic, so don't consider playing it. Honestly, I really hate it. The hand traps, you technically could play them, but I think Forbidden Drop is slightly better, so I might as well play that. You can draw it for turn, so the odds of Forbidden Drop being more relevant than a hand trap are approximately 6-ish, 7%. So keep those maths in mind when you deck build. And yeah, same logic for Ash Veil or whatever. Imperm, you could say it's slightly better because you can draw it for turn, but at the same time, if you Imperm, you cannot use Shade Brigandine the turn you set it, because that effect is only when you have no traps in your grave, so don't forget about that. And yeah, for the other cards, like I said, Evil Storm Nightmare, and then Dark, when it's gonna come out, it could be cool. And finally, a second copy of Verte Anaconda and Link Spider. Now, the reason why this is played is because if your opponent goes Nibiru on the summon of Verte Anaconda because he doesn't want you to end on Phoenix Enforcer, you have the Nibiru token and you might have a Shade Brigandine yet. So what you do is you make double Link Spider using the Nibiru token and the Shade Brigandine. No, so now you will have 2 effect monsters, and you make your second copy of Verte Anaconda. But the issue is that this is 2 extra deck spots that you probably don't really have the luxury to have, so you would have to cut like Masquerina and something else. And I do not really recommend that. So I think this extra deck, as it is pretty good, at least for the most part. If you want to change like the rank 4 of choice, like Redoer or Evil Storm Evil Storm Nightmare, then go for it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Of course, you already know it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.